Hello, I'm James Cromwell with People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals.
If you think just a few animals, treated kindly, are used in only life-saving research, please think again. The fact is that in the U.S. alone, hundreds of millions of animals are used in experiments every year. Countless animals suffer and die, as you are about to see. This is Britches. Experimenters at the University of California, Riverside sewed his eyelids shut, and a sonar device was strapped to his head in a crude attempt to study blindness. Deprived of his sight, his mother, and all physical contact, Britches developed neurotic behaviors such as clutching desperately at his body and erratic spasming. These kittens were used in experiments performed at the Boys Town National Research Hospital. The experimenters cut open kittens' skulls and severed a bundle of nerves in the animal's brain without giving the kittens any painkillers. The experimenters defended themselves by saying they were studying hearing loss, but organizations, including the World Federation of the Deaf, condemned the experiments as wasteful and cruel. This baboon was named Handsome. He lived and was killed at Columbia University in 2003. A veterinarian there blew the whistle when she saw how he and other baboons were allowed to suffer. He was used and killed in cancer experiments, even though human epidemiology, human clinical studies, and the use of human cells have resulted in cancer research progress, while animal studies have proved inconclusive. The year before this footage was taken at the University of North Carolina, the government had already reprimanded the school for cruelty to animals and neglect. But the sloppiness and abuse continued. In two separate investigations, PETA showed that UNC experimenters still left animals to languish with overgrown tumors and painful swellings, used improper means of destroying animals, such as cutting their heads off with kitchen scissors, or using dull guillotines, and amputated the rodents' toes without painkillers so as to tell them apart more easily. This footage was taken by a PETA investigator who worked undercover at the IAMS Pet Food Contract Laboratory, where nutritional studies were conducted. She found dogs kept in barren steel and cement cages for up to 6 years, with no comfort or veterinary care given to them if they were sick or injured, and the dogs' vocal cords were cut so that their barking wouldn't disturb the researchers. These chimpanzees lived out their lives in isolation at a federally funded research laboratory called SEMA. These barren steel isolation cages are called isolettes. They are designed to hold one animal for several years. Left with nothing to do or touch or no interaction with each other, the chimps go mad. Government inspectors found that SEMA had not provided veterinary care when needed, and that the primates were shivering, vomiting, and suffering from skin abrasions and hair loss. This is the Draize test, which is still used today as it was over 60 years ago. It involves placing concentrations of a test substance into rabbits' eyes and monitoring corneal deterioration. Reactions include swelling, inflammation, ulceration, hemorrhaging, and blindness. The tests continue to be used, although alternatives are widely available. PETA videotaped these rabbits inside a Philadelphia laboratory. The test substance was poured into the rabbit's eye, which was then left untreated for days with no pain relief, and then the damage was simply marked on a chart. Once the test was finished, the rabbits were killed and discarded. Here rats are being used in a lethal dose test, which gauges the dose at which half of the test animals die outright. These animals had been convulsing for 14 hours. This kitten is convulsing after a flea spray has been applied to her for the 4th time. Despite tests such as this spray was released onto the market. Please don't buy products tested on animals. Choose humane teaching methods. Support legislation to curb suffering and only support health charities that do not fund animal tests.